Hey YouTube, how you guys doing? My name is Kyle, you know me as Dragonmar, and welcome to a new video. Today guys, we're going to be going over 10 tips for Sage walls in Valorant. These are going to range from boosts to blocking off angles to LOSing to splitting sights. It's going to be some great stuff. I hope you guys enjoy. Tip number 1 is about blocking pushes on narrow pathways. So right now we're on the map Split. Now, Split has a pretty isolated B site with really only 2 real entrances for the attackers. They're going to come through B main or up on Heaven. Now, one of the really great things about Sage is that her wall is pretty darn wide, and it allows her to simply place it right here and completely cover off and block a push. Now, this is especially good on rounds like the pistol round, where it's very hard to break through this wall. But this right here alone is enough to stop almost any push from any team, regardless of what round you're on. Another great example is on the map Haven. On Bombsite C, you have a very similar situation where the only way they're going to get on the site is through this pathway right here, which is C long, or through Garage. And since normally you have a player playing in Garage window, it means that once again, you're able to wall off site or wall off long and stop any sort of push that may be coming. One of the big tips here though is, it looks simple enough just to wall off a pathway, but a key here is to actually wait as far into the round as you can to safely wall. The reason for this is that they're not going to be up close enough to this wall for it to really matter if you do it as soon as a round starts. If you wait 5 to 10 seconds, sometimes that's enough time for them to have roofed up in this area, then you wall, and then suddenly they absolutely do not want to push you anymore. Tip number 2 is a tip for stopping the sort of mid-rush on the map Split when you're on defense. Now, what a lot of people do is they'll come over to the rope side and they'll throw a slow right over there, or they'll throw it off the wall here right into the middle. Now, these are great options, but one of the great things about Sage is, once again, she has a perfect wall spot here. Now, to do this safely, sometimes it's good to get over here into the cubby. Remember, you can always rotate your wall as well. And you could do something like this. And as you're going to see, I actually got raised up on top of my wall. And this is a really neat trick. We'll go into that a little bit later. But nonetheless, this is almost guaranteed to stop any push that may be coming, as there's no way to boost over this wall on top of anything. Now, for those of you who are feeling a little more aggressive, another great option to stop the push in mid is to actually get aggressive yourself. And the safest option here is to block off the right side. So you do something like this. You come down here and you swing and you look into sewers like that. And it also gives you orb control. This is an option. You also can wall off this side as well. To do this, remember, you start here. You're going to come here. You hug this wall every time. And you simply just put your wall like that. No cracks. They're not going to be able to boost over this easily. And suddenly you can peek over here into the market area. Now, the third tip is actually about boosting teammates. And it's really simple to do. Just like if you were boosting yourself, they just need to be stood inside the blue glowing outline of your ability. But one of the great options here is that you can actually boost teammates, particularly ones who have ops, into some pretty nice locations. So on Split over here in A, you can actually boost yourself and your teammate on top of this little box here, and it gives you vision of Heaven on A over there. So it's actually really beneficial to think constantly about boosting your teammates. Even when you're retaking sites, sometimes it's important to get high ground for certain things. So a wall like this might look defensive, but if you and your teammates can get up here, suddenly, you can peek certain angles from above. It really throws people off, and it's really important to keep in mind that your wall boosts not only yourself, but also your friends. Now, tip number 4 is about splitting bomb sites when you're on offense. So a lot of people struggle using their walls offensively. Sometimes they don't even buy them. But let's say you're over here in Showers on the map Bind, close to a site. Now, you have Showers clear, and there is no one in Heaven, right? But there's players on site. Maybe someone's behind site. Maybe someone's over in this back corner. Maybe someone's playing in that purple hallway over there. But nonetheless, people are over here in short and in U-Haul. So one option you can use is you can use your wall to split off a bomb site. So right now, essentially what you've done is you have separated this bomb site into two sides. You have the side over here and the side over here. And this is really great to do when you and your team are all grouped up. So for example, if you were on an eco round or you're doing some sort of rush strategy, this is something great to learn how to do and to execute effectively on these maps, because essentially what you did is you made a wall of smokes, just like with someone like Brimstone. And this is a really great way to get yourself onto sites and to give your team a fighting chance, and to split up the enemies as well, particularly on such an open site like A here on Bind. Now, tip number 5 is about boosting yourself, and I'm sure we've all seen a lot of sages do this, but there are a few good spots, and I'll teach you a few interesting tricks. So first, here on A short, these two boxes here can be boosted upon. Now, what's really, really nice about this spot is that you can actually play behind the boxes as well. So what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna stand as far from these as you can, barely touch the end of that teleporter there, and throw your wall up. Now, as you can see right here, you have wall cover against anyone who's over here on A short, any of these attackers. So what you can do is you can actually walk your way up to the wall and just peek like this. You actually don't have to stand on top of the box. And another reason why this is so important is because it actually throws people off as well. A lot of people know to check the box, so they're going to be aiming high, because when you're up here, see how high you are? Now look, you're all the way down here. This is almost like a head glitch in Call of Duty, and this is a very nice spot, especially if you hang out on here for a little bit, take them by surprise, and then peek. You're almost guaranteed to kill every time. Now, there's quite a few good boosts, but I want to show you probably one of the most overpowered currently that I've seen so far. Now, you come into Haven in C Garage here, and you're going to want to wall off the garage, the double doors, but you also want to boost yourself on top of them. Then, all you have to do is crouch down, and you have a headshot angle on the little gap in the doorway over there, right next to the attacker's spawn by window. This spot is pretty insane for what it does, and if you get an opportunity to try it out, I definitely would. It is extremely good. Now, on Haven, the B site is pretty hard to defend, so there's actually a great boost here. All you have to do is wall yourself on top of these boxes right here, or on top of this sort of structure, and you actually have a perfect headshot angle to shoot into window. Now, this doesn't block anything, so it kind of can be seen as a waste to some people, but nonetheless, this headshot angle is extremely good, especially for someone who's opping, and it's almost guaranteed to catch the enemy off guard and to allow you to get a quick pick, which I think is worth the trade for the wall. Tip number 6 is about blocking off sniper line of sights. So if the enemy team has a pretty good sniper or an opper and you have planted the bomb, generally this is good for after plants. You might not have a smoke player on your team, which is unfortunate. However, if you do have a sage and you haven't used your wall yet, there's some great walls you can use to block off some sniper vantage points. So in Heaven here on A, it's actually really simple to throw a wall up and block off any sniper that may be up there. Also, on A site on Split, there is another great after plant spot for throwing up a wall. In Heaven here, you can actually throw your wall a little diagonal, even as far back as on site like this, and it creates a great wall that completely blocks off this part of the map, which is probably the main spot you need to worry about, as it can see so much of sight. This is a great spot to stop any sort of snipers and to block the enemy LOS. Now, finally, we have another great wall spot to block snipers on A site on Bind again. Once again, these really are after plants because you have to get so close to some of these to be able to do them, to make them effective. But up here in Heaven on A, you can throw a wall up across the entire portion of this part of the map, and it just completely blocks it out. This is where a lot of the rotators from B are going to come through. They're going to come up here first, as this hallway is pretty narrow and doesn't have much vision. So being able to wall spots like this and keeping your wall with you is actually extremely useful to your team and can really help seal off the wins after you plant the bomb on a lot of these sites. Alright, so you're probably thinking, I've showed you guys a bunch of boosts and different ways to use a wall. What's a good way to counter walls? Well, one of the greatest way to counter a wall is with a wall. So let's say someone does the a short wall here. Maybe you have a feeling they're over hiding here in this corner on top of their own wall. If you're a sage yourself, you can gather maybe 1 or 2 teammates with you, throw a vertical or a straight wall like this so your team can hop on with you, get up nice and close, throw it down, and now your walls have you've connected your walls, but most importantly, you're on top now as well. This is a really, really nice counter. A lot of people don't expect a counter wall. Another great option is when a team throws a wall that blocks off vision like this, they're almost never watching for a counter boost. So if you want, you can actually throw up a wall a little bit further away and just kind of peek over, and you'll be able to sort of tap some heads as they run by, because most likely what they're doing is they're going to run like this. They're not going to be checking this wall. They don't think anyone's up there. And it's just, I did that recently on Split on B site, and I was able to get 2 kills from it. People really are not checking this. So using a wall to counter a wall is actually an extremely viable strategy, I think, right now in Valorant. Now, tip number 8 is something that a lot of new players are struggling with right now, and it's getting them killed quite often when people are playing close to walls. So let's say someone has walled you off trying to come into hookah here on B site, on bind. So what you're going to want to do is you need to get this wall down because maybe time's running out or just for whatever reason. When you're shooting this wall, you want to reload before it breaks. Let me show you. So right about here, I would reload my gun if I didn't have infinite ammo on. And what this is going to do is it's going to put me at a much better position when I spray the next bullets to break this wall. Now, instead of only having about 3 bullets left in my clip, I'm going to have probably over 20. It's really important whenever you're breaking sage walls to always reload if you can before they break, especially if you're shooting them as soon as they've been placed, because they'll have so much health. So remember, reload before it breaks, then break it. And congratulations, you have ammo to shoot people with that are on the other side. Sticking on the map bind, we have tip number 9, which is about walling off strategic orb spots. So these orbs right here are worth 1 ult point. And oftentimes people are actually pretty close to their ultimate and they don't even realize it. So first of all, pay attention to that stuff. But second of all, you can use your wall to really efficiently grab these orbs because they're going to be in such highly contested places. So on a place like B long, which isn't going to see much action, sometimes it's worth it to throw a little wall up, come grab the orb, and then relocate to safety. I think that in higher level play, getting the orbs is going to be a lot more important. So thinking about walling them off, I think trading a wall for an orb, especially on a character like Sage who has such a powerful ultimate, when you're close to getting an ultimate, I think it's going to be worth it to actually blow some utility to get these orbs. And I think this is a great opportunity and a great spot for it right here in B long. Tip number 10, and the final tip of the video, is about walling off your pushes to allow you to focus on one angle only. So a great example like this is on the map bind. And if you're on defense, and by the way, this works great on offense as well, and you want to get a little aggressive here at a short, you have the option to wall off the left side or wall off the right side at these diagonal angles. And an example of this is if the wall just dropped, I'd throw a wall right here. First of all, make sure no one somehow gets on the wall and is on top. Then I would swing here to the left. Now, what you've essentially done is any player who is mid over here either has to shoot this to make noise and you'll know they're there, or you've allowed yourself for a free and easy opportunity to one-on-one the guy who is playing this angle right here or who has moved up. Another great example of that is when you are rotating over to B site over here on bind and someone takes the teleporter. Now, a lot of the times they're not going to run straight out of here. So if they don't, and there's 1 or 2 people in there, throwing a wall down from an angle like this right here can actually be really, really important. because it's going to take them quite some time to break through that, and it gives you and your team a clear path over here through hookah and to get on site. So learning how to use your walls to trap and to cut off angles is a really, really important part of playing Sage. There's so much more to using a wall than just point and click. There can be some real thought in it, and it really does allow for some awesome plays. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you back soon. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more, and I will see you guys next time. Take it easy, and peace.